What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, it's March 1st, Women's History Month. Say what? Chick History Month. It's all about the female. It's all March, marching with purpose.
Mm.
Um, uh, we're going to dive right in. I have a very, very important guest with us tonight, and I'm literally just here to introduce her as a guest because after that, guess what? It is Small Chats talking with, that's right, Shanay, the Shanay Johnson. So I wanted to first introduce everybody to MEC because we really haven't launched MEC yet as we're formalizing and formating, but Shanay is one of our founding members. So thank you so much for, taking the call and answering the call to be a part of MEC. MEC, everyone, is Music and Entertainment Council. So when you think about, I guess, music in general, um, there are a lot of levels, there are a lot of platforms, there are a lot of agencies, there are a lot of organizations, there's a lot of everything. It's a whole world of its own. And our goal here at MEC is always to work to stabilize, protect, connect, sustain, grow music education, those resources for all persons in performance, and also to make sure that quality of life is always achieved and met. And anything that we can do to tie relationships, whether it's local, regional, you know, statewide, national, worldwide. That's what we want to do. And luckily, we already have some great partnerships, but we can't announce those yet until the legalities, are formed. But so far, so good. So with that being stated, it's Women's History Month, so we're excited that Shanay is here. I'm like so happy. I see everybody coming on. They're like, Shanay. So you have Valencia, Jasmine, Whitney, Desmond. Hey, Desmond, one of our other founding members. We're talking to her tonight, and this is going to be her thing every other week. She'll be with us, and soon she'll probably may announce a large announcement that she has some other things that she's doing. But we're so honored to have you tonight. This is going to be fun, and I'm going to hand this mic over to you. Shanay, tell everybody who you are. I know there's some people who probably already know who you are, but
Yes.
tell those who don't know who you are, where you come from. Give us the story and what you're about to do with us, what's going forward, and so forth.
Okay, so that was a great introduction. I'd like to thank you for that. My name is Shanay Johnson. I'm a professional vocalist, vocal arranger, producer, all, all of those things. Right now, I'm in the process of going into a different journey, but I'm gonna start off by telling a little bit about myself. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. Um, that's where my musical influence started. My mother sings, my dad was a music junkie. So a lot of my family were very musical. So I grew up around a lot of music, mostly gospel because my mom kept us in gospel and she
Hmm.
kept us in the church. So she would have all of the solos. We kind of attended a mega church because I'm from a bigger city. And I saw my mom a lot doing a lot of solos, and I would always be like, I think I could sing too, but I'm not really sure. So
Nice.
we continued to go to church and to be a part of these choirs. And I was a part of the children's choir and everything. And probably around 7, I got my first solo. And that's the first time I ever sang in front of people. And I was very shy. But my mom was kind of my biggest supporter because she saw things in me that I didn't necessarily see. When I was younger, I really wanted to be an obstetrician. I wanted to
Hmm.
deliver
Wow.
babies
Wow.
when I got older, so that was
Okay.
my goal. Um, Probably around 2001. Yeah, 2001, we moved to Columbus. My mom got a job in Columbus, and she moved us down here. We knew nothing of Columbus, Georgia at all. I knew nothing of Columbus. But I often
That's
tell
that's an
people,
important note.
yeah, I often tell people that Columbus saved my life because growing up in St. Louis, it was very fast paced, just shoom shoom all the time. When I got to Columbus,
Wow.
we got to kind of slow down, so I got to know myself a little more and what I actually wanted to do. And I went to Richards Middle School, where I met a lot of my
Okay.
best friends who I still have to this day. And I went to Hardaway High School, where I met Miss Cheryl Tommy, who was my chorus teacher. And she opened up my eyes to a lot of different things, choreography, to actually putting on shows and productions, to actually working together as a team to come up with ideas. And that's where I met a lot of my writing partners right now. We came together and we had this vision of who we were, because when you're young, you're so free, and you tend to think more outside the box because you're young. You don't have to really worry about the outside world. So we would come up with all these songs that we didn't even know we were coming up with, like full songs. We were just singing, and we would just walk down the hallways being obnoxious, if I can be honest, because we would be so loud, just singing, just and people would be like, okay, but they knew us, so it really wouldn't be a thing. Because honestly, we were kind of nerds, but we were known nerds, I guess.
I love it. I love it.
I graduated Hardaway. As I said, Miss Tommy was a huge influence to my musical career. She literally trained me, and she was a tyrant. So she made sure we knew how to read music. We went to competitions. Everything.
Shout out to all the teachers. Come on, Miss Thomas.
Yes, we would play everywhere we went. Big. And she just really encouraged us to look into music and to live music and to breathe music. And it wasn't just like you singing something on a page. You literally would have to act it out. And she taught us about facials and using our bodies to really do this. But at the time, I didn't know that I was being prepared for what I would do for the rest of my life. I went on to Albany State University, go Rams, and I joined the gospel choir there, which is where I discovered my soprano voice, because before this point I was an alto. And when I got there, I made the gospel choir, and the director put me in soprano, and I literally raised my hand like, excuse me, think you have my name wrong. I tried out for alto. And she was like, no, I believe that you could do that. And there was at the time, one of our student directors, her name was Portia, and she stood next to me, and she was like, hey, we're about to sing this song together because you don't know that you can actually hit these notes yet. And I was like, okay. And they announced the song was Total Praise. And
listen, I'm here for it.
Yeah. So you can imagine how I felt about that. So she stood next to me, and she was like, we're gonna build this out together, and everything I do, you sing with me. And I don't even know if she knows that she influenced me as much as she did, but I feel like Portia had a beautiful voice. So I was like, I don't know if I can sing as good as her. But I did. I matched everything that she did, and I was like, wow, I actually can hit these notes. And I stayed in gospel choir probably 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I was working around the time, so I had to stop because, I had jobs that I had to go to, and I was trying to graduate, and graduated from Albany State, came back home, and I actually was working at private practices in the medical field. And I did that for a couple of years, but it was tearing at my heart. And I was unhappy. I didn't really know why I was unhappy, but I just knew that I was. And the center I worked at towards the end of my medical career was an oncology center where we did non-surgical, surgeries, non-invasive surgeries, where we would basically do biopsies and tell people if they had cancer or not. And I remember being so taken aback by how many people had it and how they were being treated and how they still would have to pay this money even though they just found out that their life was completely changing. And I remember calling my mom and being like, Mom, I am unhappy. I can't do this. My heart can't take it. And she was like, well, just stick it out, baby. It's going to be all right. And around this time, I met Lloyd Buchanan. I came home to my St. John. Yes, St. John A&E. And Lloyd was the musical director, and my mom was like, you have to meet him. He can really sing. Shanay is so talented. And I was like, okay. So the first day that I came back to church, my mom introduced us afterwards, and she was like, hey, Lloyd, this is my daughter, Shanay, and she's going to be in the choir. And I was like, oh, I am? I'm going to be in the choir? Okay, great. Didn't know that. great, you know. So that's how I met Lloyd, and me and Lloyd formed our friendship there. And a little after that, I got laid off from my job, which I was grateful for it. I know that sounds crazy, but I really was, because my heart wasn't there, you know. And I would travel around with Lloyd and my other friend Karita, and we would sing with Lloyd at churches, which eventually we started singing background with Lloyd at his shows, because I know a lot of people are familiar with Lloyd and his voice and his talent.
Yes.
And he would bless the room, and we would be behind him just singing. And a lot of times we did not know what Lloyd was doing. We would just follow him and be like, okay. And that's why he trusted us, because we would just follow whatever he was doing, you know. But we trusted Lloyd, too, to give us our parts. He's a very good teacher and just very talented. And once we started singing with Lloyd, we started getting recognition that we didn't really expect. And Lloyd called me one day, and he was like, hey, you want to go on tour? And I was like,
listen,
tour with who? And he was like, I'm not really familiar with this band, but do you want to come? Because they need a soprano. I was like, sure, you know, because I trusted Lloyd. And we had a couple of weeks to learn the music, and we go to Alabama to this like house in the middle of nowhere, and we auditioned for who we later meet as Brittany Howard. And she was just, hey guys, and we're like, okay, I don't really know what's happening here, but let's go in. And as soon as we sang, like they all just looked at us like, okay. And we really didn't know what was going on, because we were so nervous and, you know, like, okay, you know. And a week later, they called and was like, hey, you need to get a passport. We have rehearsal starting in a week. And I was like overwhelmed, and I almost did not go. I have to say that. But my mom was the one who encouraged me to go. She was like, you know, you've done everything. You have to go out. You have to experience life. You really have to do this.
Love it.
And she used to always tell me that her and my grandmother would tell me that I would sing. And I was like, I don't know, because my dream is to be an obstetrician. I wanted to open my own facility for specifically for Black girls, so that they can get the health care that they needed. So that was my goal in life, which still is. I still will do that, really. But that's what I wanted to do. And I went out, and like they say, the rest is history. It's literally like that. We started off with the Alabama Shakes. Eventually, I got another tour with one of my favorite singers, Emily King. Then we are now like out with Brittany, because she has her own solo album, which she just got nominated for multiple Grammys for. And we've been on the ball ever since. And so now I know.
All I know is your Instagram stay heavy. It's just packed.
Listen, I'm trying to get better version than that as well, you know. Like I just
like, goodness, where's she at now?
Exactly.
Checking in where?
Hey, and that
wait, she ain't posted nothing. She busy.
That is nothing, God.
Then it'll just be dry for 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, she in a lot of flights. She's all over the place. You know, even in a pandemic.
Yes, you can't get to the phone. You know,
even in a pandemic, you're still busy. So I know God is good.
Yes, God is good. I have been thoroughly blessed. But that's why I tell people you can't really run from your purpose. Because no matter what you think your purpose is, you know the saying, like, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. That's basically that's my life or whatever. I thought that my life was going to be a completely different way. And now he has blown my mind. It's been beyond my wildest dreams. But the advice I give people often is, if it's your purpose, you cannot run from it, no matter what you do. If it's literally what you were born to do, you can't run from it. You will be placed there. God will literally pluck you from every other situation and place you where you're supposed to be. And the road has not been easy. I'm not just going to make it seem like it's been an easy road. It has been a lot of hard work. But like I said before, I feel like I was being prepared through my life and through things that I had to do. Because in college, I had 2 jobs. Like, I worked full time, and when I was in high school, like, I have been working, you know. So I feel like it was preparing me for what my life was going to be, you know. And and then I had a prayer, which me and you discussed, where I really wanted to go further and give back more and really encourage other people to just go for your dreams and fight for your dreams and do things that people might say that you can't do, because a lot of people really don't have the support that I had. And I said the prayer, and then I got the call from you to join MEC, and I was like, wow, like it's literally what I was just praying about. So thank you for that, for thinking of me. But I'm more than excited.
Well, we're honored. We're honored to have you aboard because the assets you bring, the knowledge you bring, the skill set, you're so talented. Your character, character always speaks. In the music industry,
for sure.
We're going to talk about that for a couple seconds.
For sure.
You can be the most talented person in the world, but it's that attitude and it's your character and it's just who you are, in general. That is what takes you. And I'm so glad that Lloyd is a part of your story, putting you on, and the fact that he was a minister of music at a local church here in Columbus, Georgia, and he saw more than just, hey, this is more than just a choir. Every Sunday, every Saturday, whatever day it was, like, hold up. Let me put the question out there. So it's like he gave that opportunity. And how many people pass up opportunities like that? Exactly. It seems small, a minister of music, who's doing local shows, but a lot of people around here aren't very knowledgeable on who Lloyd is. They appreciate his art and his work, but they have no idea how much of an asset he is to the industry. So I want to put that shout out there to Lloyd Buchanan, a great friend, because he is amazing.
He is the truth.
And the real truth. Nothing but.
He is
right.
And he's still a minister of music to this day. And he
exactly.
And he tours with us, and he still maintains that, like, and a family. Like, he is like a monster. I don't really know what goes on with, but I'm grateful. I don't know what goes on in that head, but I am grateful. For sure. And then to know him that long, and Karita, I've known Karita since I was 14, since I've gotten here, because we went to the same church, so we literally grew up together. And to even have her by my side, you know what I mean? Somebody that has known me and literally seen me grow up, and I've seen her grow up, and we know each other's families. It's just a different form of family that we have. And our bands, we are very blessed with our bands, because our bands are close, tight-knit, very talented people, like literally the best of the best. And for that to be our peers is like mind-blowing. It's like, wow, and to get the accolades that we do, because we've talked about, like, there are plenty of people in Columbus, or even people that have come through Columbus, that are really in high positions in the music industry that we see often, and it's like, hey, and they are like playing the biggest names ever. Like, anybody you literally can think of, they play for them. And so that's more so why I wanted to be a part of this, because we both know. Oh, and there's also a saying when you talk about character, that talent gets you the gig, but character keeps the gig. So you could be the most talented person in the world, but you can get fired if you do not have good character.
Real easy.
Because you have to live with these people, like, we're on these buses where it's like 12 to a bus, and the buses are nice, but you're living with these people, and nobody wants to be on a bus with somebody that they cannot get along with. That's not, you hear horror stories about that all the time. Right. So people don't want to keep you around if you're not a certain way.
40 miles later, you had a job at mile 0, but at mile 40,
okay,
they let you bye, baby.
Yeah, there are stories of people getting fired on stage, like on stage, in the middle of it, like you have to go because I can't handle that. And you could tell a band's chemistry by their show. If the tighter a band is, the tighter their chemistry is. So if we're really, like, if we are just love each other, and you will see it in their faces. Like, people will look at each other and make the little stink face that black people make outside. Like everybody does.
That's right.
You don't really get that type of camaraderie if you're not.
The cell phones start coming out like, ooh, wait a minute.
You don't get that type of camaraderie if you're not close with your band. Like, you'll still see people like kind of, okay, that was good, but it's not the same as the woo, you know what I'm saying? Like, play, do that, like stuff like that. And like, knowing what your bandmate is about to do before they do it, or singing things that this wasn't rehearsed, but I know to follow you right now because we're that close and I can read your mind. You know what I mean? Those types of things you cannot teach. And that's where character comes in, because when you open yourself up to really like know your bandmates or know people in general, it doesn't even have to be your bandmates. Like there are plenty of people that are in a production, like, you know, you have stage managers, production managers, like front of house, like all of these things. And if you treat these people like they're below you, or if you treat these people that like they're not people, they will not help you. You know what I'm saying? And you never know what type of advice or what type of life lesson you can learn from these people. I literally have learned life lessons from these people. So it's very important for you to open your heart to people. And when it comes to music, if you feel like, if you really want to sing, or if you really want to play, or if you really want to do anything, because there are so many avenues that you could take to do this.
So many.
If you wouldn't do it in like a lounge, if you wouldn't sing in a lounge for people, or if you wouldn't sing in a church house for somebody, or if you wouldn't go to a nursing home to sing because you genuinely love it, it's not.
No, see, that's the part right there. Say it one more time. What was the last entity? A nursing home.
Nursing home. Even if you wouldn't sing for your grandparents, or, you know, it's not for you, because you have to have a genuine passion, and like people can hear that. You know, when you sing, they can literally hear your heart. When you play, they can hear your heart. They can hear your mind. You know what I mean? So when you do this, you have to be able to connect yourself with your music. That's why I'm mainly a writer. I've been writing my whole life. And when you write your story, even if somebody else is hearing it, or even if somebody else is singing it, it's still your story. So you are connected to this in a whole other way. It's like your baby. You know? Even if I'm not the one singing it, it's like, oh, the whole world is about to know me in a whole new way. It's all right, you know. So
let's stay there for 1 second, because it's a lot of experiences like that a lot of people, I guess, they feel that they always have to have the stage. And it's like, that's when that character is in check, because sweetheart, you still have the stage if you wrote the song. You get credits for it. You know, these award venues and all of these entities, they're looking, hey, the Recording Academy. Okay, well, you wrote it, so you have credit. Therefore, you're going to also get an award. That award is just as equal if you know, so that's vital that you just stated that, because that puts a lot of people in place. And like you were talking about earlier, you were saying people that, you know, help, you know, the backstage help and etc. Everybody's role in the music and entertainment industry is important. And you never know who knows who, because, you know, homie putting the lines together, you know, the back lines and chords, he could have been doing that for 25 years. And the company could, you know, necessarily be his or hers, right? In this Women's History Month, you know, so it's like, you never know who is who, or who put their eyes wherever they want their eyes to make sure everything is flowing how they want it to flow. So I'm glad you pointed those things out. That speaks a lot of volume for you and character.
My stage manager, he's also our guitar tech, but he literally builds guitars from scratch.
That part. Wow.
From scratch. He literally goes to buy wood and carves guitars for people. And yeah. And he can play. And his first gig of him playing was with Ty Tribett's brother. And we wouldn't have known that if we hadn't talked to him. And to your point about women, I have a cousin actually named Rebecca that I did not, we weren't as close like before I got into this industry, but she works front of house and monitors and has worked for some of the biggest names like Prince, Q-Tip, like Lauryn Hill, like some of the biggest names. And she is like, everywhere I go, they know her. And it's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we didn't even become close until my grandmother told me, like, well, you know, you have a cousin, like, look out for her, you know, because she's going to look for you. And she did. And we met, like, at North Sea in Switzerland. Like, it was weird. But she was looking for me just as much as I was looking for her. And she gave me so much encouragement and has since, you know. It's just, sometimes you really just don't know what your purpose is or what you're supposed to do. But like I tell people, it's like a magnet, and we talked about this. Like your purpose is one end of the magnet and you are the other end. So when you're getting like closer to your purpose, you get this feeling like that you can't really put your finger on it. It's just like, like, what is this? But you're supposed to
you're
run
there,
towards
right?
that. Like you're not supposed to run away from it. You're supposed to run towards it.
Come on, running towards. Eye on the tiger. Dun, dun, dun. Look, I need to go run for real with all this weight.
I was not. They called me.
I love playing around here. I need to go run for real.
You are crazy.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's the truth, though. It really is. But I owe a lot of that to Columbus, and Columbus has so much talent.
Well, Columbus, Georgia, the Chattahoochee Valley region, we appreciate you because when we cover not only just Columbus, Georgia, we cover several counties and, representation, even one being in Alabama where I reside, good old Russell. So, listen, I had a question. Sure. Let's talk about the Super Bowl because that's the most recent thing that I saw that you publicly post. And I know, trust me, I'm in the industry. I know you don't post everything because then people would be tracking your every move. You post later. It happened Saturday, post it 3 or 4 weeks or 9 months from now. Or don't post it at all. Right. But let's talk about the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl this year for everybody in the world was different. Friends who normally would probably attend and go, even they couldn't go because, it was like, hey, you on that list or, that ticket. And it's just a certain caliber of person. Everybody didn't have access. I'm just be real blank, even though they said you did. Oh, you can get a ticket. Whatever, just like the inauguration. Listen, you either in or you're out. But speaking of the end, you were there. So tell me about that night with the Super Bowl and what you all did and what that was for.
Okay, so I didn't get to go to the actual game because we were like we were getting ready. But we were.
She said I was working.
Yeah, we were accompanying Brittany for I think it was Verizon. It was Verizon in conjunction with Tidal, Jay-Z's company.
Okay.
And it basically was for small businesses. It was a concert for the direct after concert for small businesses, which Jasmine Sullivan, her, Christina Aguilera, Luke Bryan, like all us, we all were there. We literally were next door to Jasmine, which I was trying not to fangirl a little bit because I was like, I love you. But
let's do the challenge real quick. Do the challenge. Come on.
Right. Do the one. But at the end of the day, like we get to be in these rooms. So, and it was hosted by Tiffany Haddish. And we came down because, Brittany, she is really making waves. She made waves before with the Alabama Shakes, but now she's truly making waves for herself. And the music that she's producing right now speaks to a whole new kind of person, because she's talking about what it is to be a woman and what it is to be mixed because she's mixed, you know what I'm saying, and what it is to stand in your gift, and you know what I'm saying, and she really inspires me in a lot of ways, like because of like what she chooses to put out and how brave she is to perform it, and so we got to do that for the Super Bowl. So I was in Tampa when they won. I saw everybody running down the street and waving their little flags and all that stuff, and
I love it.
Yeah, we in the past, she's also taken us to the Grammy stage, and I've actually performed on that stage. We've gone to Billboard Women in Music.
Wow.
Boy, we've done a lot. And almost every late night show you could think of, even with Emily King, we've done like every late night show you could think of with her. And Brittany has actually put me in front of Prince. I've met Prince. I met Paul McCartney with Brittany. Pretty much every legend that you could think of, they're there because they really admire her and her talent, and I admire her and her talent like tremendously. So I have been blessed, to say the least.
That's so phenomenal.
Thoroughly blessed, and she encourages us to also live in our truth. She's one of my biggest supporters when it comes to like me putting my music out and putting my actual writing out. She really pushes me to do that. Like, and let people hear me. So I always
Wow.
like pay homage to her. That's my girl, like for life.
That's
But
amazing. Wow. There's so many nice comments. Lakenya says, so amazing. Sheila Green. Hey Sheila says, I synced them all. I love it.
I love her. She
Brittany
is.
Wright, she said, so proud of you.
Oh, thank
Brenda
you.
Green Lawrence, so proud of you. There's so many comments. I'm trying to scroll through, but it's been automating them. Listen, it's obvious that the people love you, and I'm pretty sure that's because of just who you are as a person. You're kind, sweet. You're always the same, consistent. I promise you. I sit back and observe people, and I notice consistency. I'm big on that. Like, be whoever you are. Now, like, if you grow, sure, of course, I definitely, everybody wants everybody to win, grow, do better in life, but do that with great persona, attitude, delivery. All those things count. I had to go back to your nursing home comment because people usually on your caliber, I've honestly, I've never heard that before, and I really want to applaud you there because as a kid, I grew up, just cool. Mom, where are we going? Dad, where are we going? Oh, the nursing home. I don't want to go. I don't want to play the piano at the nursing home. Listen, those are the places. If you serve there and you do it with intentful reasoning behind it. Like, I'm not doing it for fame, fashion, for show. I'm not trying to go live and say what I did. I'm just here to sing to these people that are here. And I know it's a COVID season, but it's like, even now, I think that's vital for a lot of artists to sit back and say, hey, what can I do? There are people in nursing homes that have not seen their loved ones at all
Yeah.
in this pandemic. And it's like, how do how do you reach them? And so I think that's a very good note for you to state, that, hey, nursing home is a part of this venue, circulation when we're going out doing this artistry and performing. I kudos to that. I think that's dope.
Yeah, before I started touring, me and Karita and my best friend Brittany, we used to go to a shelter, the women's shelter, and sing to them
Wow.
on
Wow.
Wednesdays or whatever. And you just never really know the impact that you have on anybody until you start singing, even just talking, because even in the
Right.
conversations that we've had, I told you you had an impact on me, and like the stuff that we share with each other. And you just you miss out on a lot when you don't open your heart to people. You really do. You miss out on a lot
Right.
of people. You miss
Right.
out on a lot of opportunities. You miss out on growth because everybody has something to offer, even if it's the wrong thing. Even if I'm learning the wrong thing
Ooh.
and what not to look for,
Ooh.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Ooh.
So and that's a
Okay.
lot. If I could be honest, that's a
That's
lot of
good.
the things that I've learned about Columbus, the good and the bad, because I've also had the bad side, when people aren't necessarily used to you or they don't really know you. And then so it's like you kind of get people's backs sometimes. Like when
Right.
you're just trying to say hello and it's like, dang,
Mm.
I don't even know you.
Not the
It's
back.
all right,
Not the
that's
back. Maybe they were running towards their purpose. They were trying to turn their back.
they were
They was
jogging.
just
You
running.
notice that's what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm
But
just.
it's the truth. I've
No,
got a lot of
I
people
agree with you. Yeah.
who didn't know who I was, and then like you'll see me on something, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I saw you on this and so, and I'm the type of person where I won't necessarily like
Mm.
push you off, but it is unbecoming. So it's kind of like, noted, So
Right. Right.
it's a thing, and like I said, I'm blessed
Mm.
to have people around me that I could talk about that with. You know what I'm saying? Because one of my best friends in the world, his
I
name is
love it.
Bernard, and he's been on The Voice and he sings and he's been all around the world too. But he literally knows me like the back of his hand, and I like talk to him about this
Wow.
often because it's like a lot of times people create their own narrative of who you are. So
Mm.
when you
Wow.
approach them or when
That
you
part.
are in their presence, they have already created this picture of you. And so it's harder for you to be yourself because they have already created who you are to them. And it's like, well,
Mm.
I'm not her. So are you going to like listen to who I am, or are you going to just continue to make this
Mm.
narrative me? And so I've had to deal with that
Ooh.
too. And like different people's narratives of who I am are just keeping it honest, like my intellect or how versed I am in what I do. And it's like I'm very versed. I'm just versed in other avenues too, you know. So this isn't the only thing
Say
I've
that.
done. So it's like, but thank you. You know, some people think I've
Say
only
that.
ever done music, and I haven't. I have a full degree that I worked in before I got to this, you know.
Listen.
So it's like I actually am, and I've been an honor student my whole life. So it's like, yeah, there is more to me than just my voice, you know. And
Intelligence.
yeah, even my singing voice, I have a speaking voice too, where I'm not afraid to use that, and I have ears that I'm not afraid to use. Like I can listen to you as well, and I could be a friend as well, you know, and I could be here for
That's
you as
good.
well. I have a heart as well, so it's
That's
not
good.
just my singing or it's not just my music.
That's
That's just a
good.
part of me, you know. And so I try not to make people one thing because I don't like when people make me
That's
one
good.
thing, you know. So
Right.
which is why we are starting the Small Talks with Shanay, because I think that a lot of people don't really truly understand who all has come from Columbus.
Right.
I don't think that people truly see the amount of success that a lot of people have had in the music industry who have come through Columbus. And it's sad because there are a lot of younger people that I have talked to who don't really think that the industry is attainable for them. And it's very attainable because I grew up in the same
Very.
place. And you really
Right.
can do it. There is so much room. And a lot of times people try to make it a dog eat dog thing where you have to fight your way up and there is so much room. There is so much
Say
room.
it. Say that one more time.
There is so much room.
So much.
You
It's
just have to
so
be
the table is kind of like endless, right?
endless.
There's so many people. You know,
So many.
I had a
And there's
friend
so
tell
many
me
avenues.
once.
There's so many avenues you could
A
take.
friend.
Everybody isn't meant to be a frontline singer. You know what I'm saying? Everybody isn't meant to be like the person in front of like the camera. Everybody isn't meant to be a BGB. Everybody can't sing background. Like it's not a lot of
You
people's
bet.
ministry.
You better come on here now.
But you
Don't
know,
get. I'm trying to leave my churchy side alone. You know, I
hey,
said I'm just gonna
you
be
can
chill
shout, girl.
tonight.
Girl, you
I'm not
shout
gonna
if
be
you want to
chill.
shout.
I'm not gonna go corporate C-suite and go high level. I'm just
You
gonna be
better
chill.
show.
Put
You
my
better
hat
show
on.
the Lord some grace
You
in
you
here.
better get the
Mercy.
church out of here now. You better come
Okay.
on here.
Look,
You just
I
said
am
a
the
whole.
daughter of a pastor. You
Woo,
know what I'm saying? Hey, mama, I
woo.
know you ain't here.
You you
But
have said a lot
there's a
right
lot.
there. Especially I have this thing I like to say, the crab in the bucket mentality. I know it applies everywhere. Or crab in the barrel, however you want it.
Yes.
Look, can we all just get that's just my biggest thing. Can we all just get along? And like you said, the table
It's
is
endless.
large enough. It's endless. Like everybody can eat. Just make your plate. If you don't want to go to the grocery store and get groceries to fix your food, then go to the restaurant. If you don't
Or
want to go to the
DoorDash.
restaurant, then right. Listen, there's so many ways to do this thing. Just like math, there's
Yeah.
plenty of ways to solve a problem. But let's not do this thing. Let's not do that. Let's not snatch each other down, tear each other down, and do all these things. Let's just do whatever we do it well, do it in our lane, and let's applaud everybody else in theirs, even if their lane looks very similar to yours.
Exactly.
There are a lot of lanes that are parallel. A lot of people come up with things, but in the world of like technology, when you think about patents, I know I'm going way off, but it's like, hey, look, in
You
the
know.
world of patents, there are plenty applications, right? For some of the people, like same idea, some from China, Australia, wherever. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you still can get a license, but you just have to change your wording and make it appropriate and make sure it's not a carbon copy because you have
Right.
to show where you defer.
Right.
And that's how it is in life. So listen,
Yes.
that table is real large. So I'm
It
so
is.
glad you're part of the table, a person of your caliber. Mec, we're so excited to have you. This
Yes.
region is excited because you came from this region and you're willing to pour back into it. See
Yes.
that part. Retaining talent and attracting talent is
Right.
very difficult, but that's why MEC is here. We're
Right.
going to try to help, end that story and relate, connect, make this a vibrant place because as vibrant as we deem it be, as a lot of committees deem that we are, we want to work well with them, but at the same time, we're kind of pushing our own train,
Right.
respecting everyone else's, but kind of just full speed ahead. And the partnerships that we have, the relationships we have, founding members like you, We're excited, and listen, it's 40 people strong that are going to make this thing what it needs to be in this region. So thank
A
you.
village.
What do you have to say to a girl? Because it's Black Women's History Month. And I said black. See, I'm still in Black History Month, but I'm black. But
It was Black History Month, but it's
it's
Women's Month
women's,
now,
right,
so we
right.
can
I'm
merge
like,
them together.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
It's Women's History Month, so all women. What do you have to say to a girl, regardless of her race?
I would tell you to live in your own truth. No matter what, you are one of one. There will never be another you. So the best way to be the best you can be is to learn you. And when I say learn you, I don't just mean physically, I mean mentally. It's very important for you to be mentally healthy. It's very important for you to be well read. Don't let people tell you what to read, because you are the only person who knows your purpose. So you can't let somebody else tell you your purpose. You have to know how to pray. You have to know how to meditate, because people don't talk about that. Like, praying is talking to God. Meditation is hearing back from him. You know what I'm saying? So when you pray, make sure you meditate directly after that, so you can hear what God actually wants you to do. And when he tells you what you need to do not be afraid of it, because your journey is not always going to be easy. Just like a river, you will have rapids. You know what I'm saying? So when you're traveling, you have to understand that with those rapids, eventually the water will be still. And you will be just coasting. But you have to be prepared for the rapids that are going to come again, because they're going to come. But if you're really strong in yourself, because as you begin to elevate, there will be people that will test you, because a strong woman is a threat. Regardless of how you push it, regardless, it is. And you will have people that will try you in those ways, especially the smarter you are, the more beautiful you are, the more you do, the more put together you are, you will have things that will come your way. But the best thing that you could do is prepare yourself and be confident in what you have. Be confident in what you bring, because you are the only person that brings that nobody else brings what you bring. Nobody else has your parents, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody else has your birthday with your parents. It was just you. Even if you have a twin, you still one on one. Y'all came out separately, So just really live in your own truth and live in yourself, because at the end of the day, people will always try to guide you other ways, but that's their triggers. That's their fears. That has nothing to do with you. So face your fears, walk strongly, walk confident, hold your head, because no matter what, we have come from people who have made it so you could be here. So people before you, whether it be your grandmother, your great grandmother, your mother, your great great grandmother, they all survived so that you can be born. So if you think of it in that way, you'll be like, oh, well, I can't. What am I doing? Because there are people before me that had it way worse than me. So who am I to complain? And then they created me, so I must be here for a reason. You just have to live in that. And no matter what comes your way, you can bend, but don't break. Because you got God on your side. You know what I'm saying? He gonna hold you back. Trust me. You know what I mean? You just have to walk. And you have to trust it and believe whatever you want to do, believe God for it. Because if you don't believe it, there's no way for anybody else to believe that. So that's like one of my number one things. Like, you have to believe in you. Because if you don't believe it, you cannot expect somebody else to believe it. They won't. They will not. But if you are strong in you and you are planted in you, there is nothing that anybody could say to stir you in a different direction. You will always be rooted in you. You will always stand in you. You will always walk in your purpose. And when you walk in your purpose, you will be blessed tremendously. Like, far beyond what you would ever think. Like, you would be blessed. And you will always know you're walking in your purpose, because you will continuously be blessed. Continuously. No matter what happens, you will always see your blessings. Like, you will always see it. No matter what. So that's my advice. Like, don't let your skin tone, like, stop you. Don't let what people see on your face stop you. Like, it's all here. You know exactly who you are, and it's here. Like, just hold on to that. Like, stay. Like, that's my advice.
That's good.
You are so.
Let the church say yeah. Well, Lord, I need an organist.
Where's the collection plate? You know what I'm saying?
Right. A little offering. Listen, Shanae, this was great. Everyone should be looking forward to, every other week, every week, heck, every day. You're so knowledgeable. It seems you could do this every day, and just pour into people, pour into, you know, whew, that it was a lot. Y'all go back, review it, screens, record it, whatever you got to do, throw it everywhere.
Yes.
Listen, this young lady is talented. Meg, we are so grateful to have you and so glad that you're going to be doing these small talk with Shanae. And
Yes.
you're going to be bringing your friends from the industry, and y'all are going to be having this conversation. This y'all last time seeing me, so don't get used to my
It
beautiful
might not
face.
be. It
You
might not
know,
be. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh, she trying to interview me, y'all. I don't know. Listen,
I
listen.
might interview you. You don't know.
Call Oprah. Call Oprah and yeah, y'all got to tie me down. Both
Say what? Hey,
make this happen.
speak that into existence.
Whew.
I know that's right, girl. Like, I
Yeah,
know that's right. But yeah,
listen,
I will be taking over
but
bi-weekly, and I will have my friends and people who have just trailblazed through this. Like, and I really want people to see their faces. I really want people to hear their stories. I really want people to see that you are not, everybody's story is unique to them, but it's not that unique. Somebody else can relate. You know what I mean? And I really want people to believe in themselves and believe in their talents, and
yes,
just realize that the sky is not the limit. You really can go beyond that.
right,
Like, you can shoot
right.
up to the stars, like really, if you want
That's
to.
right.
And I want my friends to come because they are very knowledgeable people. They are great people. They have great hearts. They have really done this for a very long time. They've graduated from high schools that people in Columbus have graduated from, LaGrange, you know what I'm saying?
Wow,
All these areas,
wow,
Phoenix City, and they are doing amazing things. And I just really want people to
wow.
see them and hear them, because one thing about Columbus is we have to support each other. That's what we kind of lack
Yes.
in Columbus when it comes to artists and artistry. We lack a lot of support when the face isn't what you're used to seeing.
Mm. But that's
Not
why
saying
Mac
that
is
we
here, and
shouldn't,
that's why Shanae is here.
not saying that we shouldn't support the
We're
face
gonna
that you're
change
used to
that up.
seeing. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that you should see other faces and the younger talent, because there is some
Exactly.
talent that still lives there.
Exactly.
That they are
Right.
talented, like very
That's right.
talented, like for real. And I just want them to be encouraged to do whatever you can, and even like us, like women, to be encouraged to keep striving and keep going and keep doing
Yes.
what we know
Yes.
to do.
Yes.
So I'm excited. And every other week I'll be doing this, and I'll be live through this channel and every other channel that this is broadcasting on. And I'm gonna bring Z back because I don't know what she's talking about. She's gonna be on here again.
Let the church say yeah. Okay, with that
But
note,
I just hope
no, I'm just
everybody
playing.
joins me.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd be honored. Yeah, I'd be honored.
yes, yes.
I'd be
And in
honored.
the comments,
To
tell
talk.
me
You
what
just
y'all would like to hear, because I would love to hear like subjects or whatever. Or even if y'all know some people that I might not know that are in the industry that I might not have access to, I would love to know who they are. And anything that you guys would
yes.
like to know about me, I would love to know so that we can talk about it in the next 2 weeks.
I love
And
it.
I have
What's
some
the best way to contact you, Shanae?
oh
Like Instagram. What's your Instagram or what are
my
your
Instagram
handles?
is at lovely S as in Sam, C as in cat, B as in boy, J as in John. Um, my Facebook is Shanay Johnson, so you can follow me there. I don't yet have an
Okay.
artist page, but I'm working on that. And I also have a
Okay.
website, lovelysdbj.com, where it like lists everything that I do and everything that I'm versed in. But that's how you can find me. You can always find me on IG. You can
Okay.
always find me on Facebook. I'll be on there a lot.
Awesome. Awesome. So, and y'all can reach her on Meg. If you send a message, somebody from the team will see it and we'll make sure she gets it.
Yes.
Thank you, Shanae. This was awesome. You're the
You.
bomb. Looking forward to all your talks. I'll be tuned in. I'll be sharing it. Uh, thanks everybody for tuning in. Y'all
Yes.
have a good night.
Bye.